My name is Michele Foss, and I have been teaching for about 27 years. I taught 9 years in a public school. I homeschooled for 2 years, and then the last 16 I've been here at Hillcrest. And one of the things what I teach at Hillcrest for the 8th and ninth graders is I teach a class called Omnibus, or Humanities. And Omnibus is essentially means all-encompassing. So what I teach is history and Bible through literature. So we may read things like Confessions by St. Augustine. We'll read Pilgrim's Progress. We'll read Of Plymouth Plantation by William Bradford. And we'll read the Constitution of the United States. We read the Declaration of Independence. We read these things and we learn about history through them. We also read things like the Communist Manifesto, and we do read some of Mein Kampf. And people ask me, well, why would you choose to read those books in these classes? And I love to take them to this book that we read in 8th grade. It's called The Ecclesiastical History of the English People. And the Venerable Bede writes, "For if history records good things of good men, the thoughtful hearer is encouraged to imitate what is good. Or if it records evil of wicked men, the devout religious listener or reader is encouraged to avoid all that is sinful and perverse, and to follow what he knows to be good and pleasing to God." So that's what we do. We learn about history through books, and we learn how we can live as heroes in our time, in our culture, and we can live as wise Christians. And so one reason that I love teaching is that I love when I can present students with a question and it causes them to think. And I can actually see the wheels turning in their heads. I love that. I present them with things that maybe they've never thought of before, or I challenge thinking processes that they've had in the past. And they don't know what to do at the time, and so they just think, and I get to come alongside them and encourage them and stand next to them and say, this is okay. It's okay to ask these questions. It's okay to wrestle with this. So I love that. That's my favorite thing about teaching. And when my students leave my class, I want them to know two things. I want them to know that they are a loved and valued member of my class, that what they have to say is important, and I want to hear it. They're made in God's image, and I want to hear them. I want to hear their hearts. And the second thing I want them to come away with is the idea that history is important. History is when the kids understand that they are just in this continuum of history, and they can read stories of what happened in the past. They can see that, oh, okay, maybe something like this has happened before. Maybe we're not alone in this issue or this concern that we have in our society. This actually has happened before. I read this in this book. And so that's what I want them to come away with, this idea that they're not alone in time. They are standing on the shoulders of great men and women. They're standing on the shoulders of those who were martyred in Fox's Book of Martyrs. I mean, those people withstood a lot of torture to stand for Jesus. And in today's culture, do we get persecuted? Yes, we do. But when we read about those in the past, we get these spiritual muscles that we can stand on. So when it comes our turn to be persecuted for Jesus, we can say, hey, I'm not alone. I'm in the company with those from the past. So that is why I love teaching. That's why I hope my students come away with when they leave my class after 9th grade.